We know that the road to a better future for Australia goes through Queensland, and that's as it should be. And that's why we're here today with Elida and with Nita and with all of you. Anthony in Queensland is like a second home for Anthony. He has a natural affinity with Queenslanders, and he has treated this place like a second home, and it's really terrific to see him here once again. We know that we have to work twice as hard for every vote in Queensland. We are up for that challenge. The Prime Minister has consistently and repeatedly turned his back on Queenslanders when we need him the most. Whether it's during floods, whether it's during the pandemic, this is a Prime Minister who goes missing when Queenslanders need him. Now, he had the gall today to say that his government has been tested. This Prime Minister has failed every test at every turn. This is a Prime Minister, when he was tested by bushfires, went to Hawaii. This is a Prime Minister tested by the pandemic, didn't order enough rapid tests, didn't order enough vaccines. This is a Prime Minister tested by floods who went missing and treated flood relief as just another partisan, divisive thing for him to try and take advantage of. So if the Prime Minister wants to talk about tests, this is a Prime Minister that has failed every test at every single turn. He wants to talk about the management of money. This Morrison government has borrowed more, taxed more and spent more than Labor did, but delivered less. The reason they have delivered so little, the reason why they don't have enough to show for $1 trillion in debt, is because the budget is absolutely chock full of rorts and waste, and a budget which is corrupted by Scott Morrison's incompetence. So if he wants to talk about management of money, let's talk about more than $20 billion of JobKeeper for businesses which didn't need it, which prevented the businesses here in the tropical north from getting the assistance that they needed and deserved when times were tough. Let's talk about $5.5 billion wasted on submarines that'll never be built. Let's talk about land rorts and sports rorts and car park rorts and all of the rest of it, rorted community programs. The government wants to talk about responsible economic management. Let's have a debate about the government being the most wasteful government in the history of our federation. The only reason they talk about Labor is because they want to distract from the fact that they've got $1 trillion in debt with almost nothing to show for it. They've taxed more, borrowed more and spent more, but delivered less than Labor, and that's because the budget is corrupted by Scott Morrison's incompetence.